Hey guys, in this video I'm going to go through each AFL team's longest premiership drought. Make sure to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoy this video. GWS's drought currently sits of 10 years, as they haven't won a premiership since they entered back in 2012. The Suns' drought currently sits at 11 years, as they haven't won a premiership since they entered back in 2011. West Coast actually had two droughts, both of 12 years. Their first starting from 1994 to 2006, and their second from 2006 to 2018. Port Adelaide's drought currently sits of 17 years, as they haven't won a premiership since 2004. Brisbane's longest drought currently sits of 18 years, as they haven't won a premiership since their three-peat back in 2003. Essendon's drought currently sits at 21 years, as they haven't won a premiership since 2000. The Crows' drought currently sits of 23 years, as they haven't won a premiership since 1998. Carlton's drought currently sits of 26 years, as they haven't won a grand final since 1995. The Dockers' drought currently sits at 27 years, as they haven't won a premiership since they entered back in 1995. The Magpies' longest drought was of 32 years, as they didn't win a premiership between 1958 and 1990. Richmond's longest drought was of 37 years, as they didn't win a premiership between 1980 and 2017. Hawthorn's longest drought began when they entered the VFL back in 1925, till they finally won their first premiership in 1961. Geelong's longest drought was of 44 years, as they didn't win a premiership between 1963 and 2007. North Melbourne's longest drought began when they joined the VFL back in 1925, till they finally won their first premiership in 1975. Melbourne's longest drought currently sits at 57 years, as they didn't win a premiership between 1964 and recently in 2021. The third longest drought was of 62 years, which came from the Bulldogs, who didn't win a premiership between 1954 and 2016. The second longest drought was of 68 years, which came from St Kilda, who didn't win a premiership since they entered the VFL in 1897, till they finally won their first premiership in 1966. The longest premiership drought was of 72 years, which came from South Melbourne, or the Sydney Swans, who didn't win a premiership between 1933 and 2005. Now I'm going to go through how long since a team has won their last grand final. Melbourne, 1 year. Richmond, 2 years. West Coast, 4 years. The Western Bulldogs, 5 years. Hawthorn, 6 years. Sydney, 10 years. Geelong, 11 years. Collingwood, 12 years. Port Adelaide, 17 years. Brisbane Lions, 18 years. Essendon, 21 years. North Melbourne, 22 years. Adelaide, 23 years. Carlton, 26 years. And St Kilda, 55 years. Now I'm going to go through some of the premiership drought records. The longest drought was from Sydney, which was 72 years. The shortest drought is from GWS of 12 years. And the team to hold the longest current drought is St Kilda of 55 years.